Hey, my name is Christian Lewis, and I'm a student from Full Sail University, and my degree is in the game development, which is looked over by Sean Kendall. Now, why do I want to become a game developer? I chose this degree as my initial decision because I've always wanted to know how games worked and possibly make my own games in the future. As a kid, I wanted to create something within the digital media because I believe that's how people are best at expressing their passion and creativity. I used to play horror games, open world RPG, and even story-based games, and I remembered how they made me feel. They made me feel like I was a part of that world, or at least could understand the basis of that world. So I believe with this degree and learning more about different coding languages, I can perfect my craft of modding games or making my own game. Now I would say I was in a complex decision between game design and game development, due to them being different, and I've pondered on about this for a long time. Because I know myself as a very creative person and I have lots of ideas in my head. But then I ask myself, how's the game going to function? The game can look stunning all at once, but how is the game going to work? In my journey of seeing game design and game development, I came up with the belief that if I understood game development fully, then game design would be easy for me if I ever wanted to go into that field. Not going to lie, I used to be very private with my game projects. I tend to not want help because I didn't want to rely on people to do the work for me, because I knew what I wanted for my game, and I was very particular. But then, as years would go on, I would see that just the functionality of games is a hassle of its own. So why not have a networking connection between people that could help me? Maybe they can inspire me and bring some good ideas to the story, design, or environment. Now, what am I going to be learning? For this degree, we are going to be using a software called Visual Studio Pro and Visual Studio Code to put in programming languages like C++. C++ is a very popular programming language that is mostly used in game development. To understand C++ is to understand video games as a whole. But I would say I am excited about learning it and experimenting with it, as I have no experience with C++ at all. But one thing I do have experience in, at least a little bit, is Unreal Engine, which is the main engine we are going to be using. Now, what experience? I have been playing around with Unreal Engine 4 and 5 for the past 3 years now, since I was in high school. Seeing their tools and technology upgrade was revolutionary for me, and I believe it's the best engine to get started with. Now, I would say most of the experience came from the blueprint aspects, which are just C++ visual scripting assets that allows creator to add functionality to existing gameplay classes without typing a singular code. While it was stressful learning about blueprints, it gave me a glimpse of what coding is all about and some of the terminology, like integer, static mesh, skeletal mesh, string, class actor, parent class, blueprint, interface. The list goes on and on. Now, what is my main focus and what are my challenges? I believe I would love to focus on writing a successful coding sequence that assembles platforms/systems that power the game. That would mean I will want to focus on how to make a system from scratch, because I believe if I learn something from scratch, then given a blueprint of a system, there is no stopping to my imagination of what I could possibly do to make this system better. To know the ins and outs of a system is to look at its imperfections and what I could do to make those imperfections as a tool to revolutionize games forever, because that is the goal after all. Now, I believe the class that'll be the hardest would more likely be information and database systems, because I would have to really focus and understand stuff like data manager, file manager, DBMS, user interface, and other managers. I don't know how to manage anything, so hopefully this class will challenge my brain and help me understand how to manage my data. Now, the easiest class must be historical archetypes and mythology. Listen, I am a mythology nerd. I look up multiple culture, folklore, and religious backgrounds for a living. I feel I may already have prior knowledge of what the class may teach me, but nonetheless, I am still open and excited for new information because I love learning about different cultures and different perspectives about what a monster is to them and what a hero is to them. Now, to be successful in these classes, I would have to get into the habit of studying. I would break down my time of working on side projects / my portfolio and me studying. I will have to learn good time management and write down how I'm going to spend my time, like that one assignment that we did. But knowing how I am, I tend to go all in towards a subject if it's deemed interesting to me, the point where I can't stop. So I will have to learn how to take breaks and have a little bit of a digital detox, enjoy nature a little bit. With that relaxation, I can build my creative meter and be unstoppable. That was my little presentation. Hope you enjoyed, and see you on the flip side.